All right. Sorry for the little gap of this last segment. I actually took a break. I was a little thirsty and I needed to go to the bathroom, but that is not the issue here. Okay. But when it comes to this, I wanted to ask you, like, what is your opinion on sex offenders? Like, do you think that there's like irredeemable scum that that should be just like isolated from society? Like, I'm just curious, like, what is your opinion on sex offenders? And do you think that the punishments they receive in many cases being having to in some states, apparently in some laws, you actually have to publicly, identify. You have to let the public know you're a sex offender, stuff like that. And in many cases, I think some states also, like when they are in your area, they actually send you a notification. I get those a lot. Usually, I get those and I get those a lot from like on an email or an Amber Alert, I think. But the other thing is usually email. But I get like an email like these are the sex offenders that are currently in your area, and I'm thinking like, okay, sure. I mean, but you know what I mean. But like, again, what's your opinion on sex offenders? And do you think the punishments that they get, do you think that they're enough, or do you think that they're not enough? Again, that's up to you to decide, and hopefully you guys can put that in the comment section below. I like to have a discussion about that. But this right here, apparently, a group, some sex offenders are suing the sheriff's police department in Georgia over putting signs that say "Do not trick or treat here," apparently for safety purposes. But let's see what let's see what this article has to say. This article is from Fox News, and the title reads: Georgia sheriff's no trick or treat signs trigger lawsuit from sex offenders. A group of sex offenders in Georgia is suing the Butts County Sheriff's Office for posting no trick or treat signs on their homes. Okay, I'm sorry. I actually had to try to hold in a laugh there because of the name of the county. Um, anyways, no. But yeah, this is the sign. It says, "Warning: No trick or treat at this address." A community safety message from Butts County Sheriff. Yeah, I'm gonna stop right there for a bit. Yeah, it's pretty much the image, right? Let's see if we can zoom it in. I'm pretty sure it'll let me. Let's see. If not, then we'll just leave it like that. Okay, so this is the image. This is a zoomed image of it. Yeah, message, share. Yeah, sheriff. I think that's all it says. Yeah, sheriff, something like that. Whatever. Anyways, let's keep going. So this is the sign. It says, "Warning: No trick or treat or at this address." That's pretty much what it says. The Butts County Sheriff said that he is using the signs to keep kids safe, but the sex offenders argue that they are a violation of their rights to free speech and privacy. Maybe. I mean, the thing is that, like, again, sometimes when depending on where they are, again, I will get notifications of that. It's like these are the names of the sex offenders that are in your area. So I don't think it's a matter of privacy, because again, considering on whether or not the state, depending again, you can say it's not privacy, because again, sometimes some states do publicly announce who these people are, and what area they're at the moment. So I don't know. Maybe they could win. Maybe not. Again, that's up to you. Maybe in the legal matters they could. Maybe, maybe not. Like I said, I don't know. The initiative began in 2018 when Butts County Sheriff Gary Long directed deputies to place "Warning: No trick or treat at this address" signs in the front yards of over 200 sex offenders registered in the county from October 24th to November 2nd. The sheriff's office plans to use the same tactic again this year, and 3 registered sex offenders have filed suit. Okay, well, let's see what they have to say. In a Facebook post, Sheriff Gary Long said he had instituted signs as a result of the cancellation of the local Halloween festival, Halloween on the Square, and the subsequent influx of door-to-door trick-or-treaters. He said that they have been following Georgia law and protecting children from when they implemented the public warnings. And yeah, apparently, if they're complying with the law in the case of notifying the sex offenders and the people who the sex offenders are, if they are complying with Georgia law, maybe they might, maybe they're not. Sorry, maybe there might not be a case here. But at the same time, though, depending on the state law, maybe this could be potentially illegal. Maybe. Because you're basically going into these people's private property and basically modifying the property per se, right? Like I said, maybe that could be a case when it comes to that. They're basically going into private property and then they're literally modifying the property to some degree, right, without consent, right? Maybe, but again, maybe sex offenders, depending on the law in Georgia, maybe they can't consent to that. Again, we just don't know. I'm not savvy in Georgia law. Anyways, let's keep going. The law allows the sheriff to put a list of registered sex offenders at his office at the courthouse on the internet. The lead attorney for the petitioners, Mark Urachek, told Fox 5 Atlanta, it does not allow him to go door to door telling people you have a sex offender living next door to you. Now, again, it might sound like a case, but I think that if you can go on the internet and put the names of these people on the internet, what's the problem on the house? I mean, if anything, the internet is more public. You can literally go on social media and say so and so's a sex offender. Here's the evidence, and people can't do anything about it. Those people can't do anything about it because that's the law in the state, right? So if they can go on the internet, what's the problem of going door to door? Chances are those people don't even care to look. Again, maybe, but if they're already putting this on the internet, if the law allows them to put the information on the internet, then putting it in front of your house it doesn't seem like a worse thing, at least to me. Like I said, again, don't take my opinion as fact. It's just my assumption. It's my analysis of the situation. The internet, it's public. It's in the public domain. You can't really you people. It's not like for the eyes to see, right? Everyone can see it. Everyone will find it, right? Same thing for that. Like if they can put it on the internet, I don't think they'll be able to win, considering that door to door is technically still notifying them, considering that in the internet people can find out anyways, but they don't seem to care about this stuff. Again, that's my interpretation of this. But anyways, let's keep going. I'm just not sure that this kind of action makes your kids any safer. Juracek said as of the initiative, it just makes your constitutional rights less safe. The trespass stuff is pretty clear, and yes, trespassing, sure, depending on the law of Georgia, yeah, these people are trespassing onto private property and they're modifying the property. That could be the potential case, right? But again, if the law allows them to put stuff on the internet, putting that next door to door, it might be a clash when it comes to that specific with that specific situation. But anyways, I'll read it again. The trespass stuff is pretty clear. They're coming onto their property and putting the signs on there, Juracek said. Their attorney argued that since the Georgia State Sex Offender Registry does not require offenders to post these signs, they shouldn't be forced by a local deputy to have them displayed outside. Again, really good point. Not that I'm defending sex offenders, because I pretty much find them very despicable and I hate them to the core. But again, legally wise, it seems like they're making good points. Yeah, if it's not required for them to put signs in front of the door, with what authority does the government have the right to force you to put up a sign that you don't want on your property? Like I said, not the side of the sex offenders, but it's very curious. I'm just very interested. But again, personally, I don't like sex offenders. Again, at least the ones that are knowingly guilty of it. Some people are accused of a sex offense when they're completely innocent. But the ones who are knowingly guilty, who are literally proven guilty with hard evidence, yeah, those people I don't feel bad for. Yeah, I don't feel bad for them. But again, there's a really interesting thing. And considering that's Halloween, that's why I chose this article. Because again, Halloween is next week. Maybe you guys are probably watching from Georgia. Maybe you guys want to find this interesting. Maybe, maybe. But anyways, let's keep going. Sorry, and yeah, so let's go. There are individuals who have been brave enough to not be afraid to let the public know that they are registered sex offenders, but are also not willing to tolerate this unlawful action by the sheriff, said Juracek. Registrants have no obligation to inform the public of their status, according to the attorney. Okay, so apparently under the law, according to Georgia, they are not obligated to inform the public of their status. Interesting. Maybe they might lose this case in the case of the sheriffs, right? The sheriffs, or the sheriff of the town, of the city, or whatever. Very interesting. Like I said, maybe they could be an interesting case. I'll probably follow it if I can. Maybe. I understand that there's a lot of people who think this is a great idea. Who think, yeah, this protects my kids. But what they should be thinking about is, does this protect my rights? Juracek said. Good statement as well. But at the same time, parents, the only thing that they care about more than themselves are their children. Okay, my parents, I'm 22, and my mom is always concerned about when time I'm going to be home. Okay, yes, granted, yeah, I still kind of live with my mom a little bit, but hey, I'm already planning to move out. But like I said, my mom still feels very concerned. There was times where I actually went on, like, I think when I went to, like, I think it was like oh yeah. No, I don't know what I'm thinking about. But no, remember when I started working the closing shifts at my old job at the old McDonald's I used to work at? I used to close. And every time, every time, around 4 a.m. when she usually wake up to work, she would send me a text and say, "Hey, are you okay? Are you all right? Are you on your way home?" I'm thinking, yeah, okay. Like, again, there's nothing wrong with that. But again, parents love their kids. They love their kids. Parents, there's another thing called parental love. In many cases, that's a huge bonus. That's also a huge detriment when it comes to, for example, crimes. Because there's parents who will literally defend their child to their last breath, even though their child is guilty of doing something bad. But again, Parents, they care about their kids, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Some parents, yeah, if I was a parent, I would say yes, this is a good thing. But I'm not a parent, therefore I can't judge on those situations. But I would understand how they feel. But at the same time, I would also some degree feel a little bit of concern for the people who are on the other side, because the government doesn't mandate that you put up signs and notify people and notify the public, and the government doesn't at the same time doesn't have the right to trespass your property and modify it. Again, very gray area here. Very gray area. I'm not taking sides, but very gray area when it comes to this. Long said that regardless of the judge's ruling on Thursday, he would do everything within the law to protect the community's children, which is understandable. You are a law enforcement individual. You're a part of law enforcement. Your job is to protect the community. If you think that's the right thing to do within the law, by all means, man, you have a right to do so under the law. Not violating it, but under the law. Other counties in Georgia also use a no trick-or-treat sign, such as Monroe and Lamar counties. In Monroe County, if an offender didn't want a sign in their yard, they had to wait in the lobby of the local sheriff's office during trick-or-treat hours on Halloween. Man, different laws, different counties, different laws. But like I said, what do you guys think about this? Do you guys think this is okay? Are you guys, do you guys side with the sex offenders when it comes to the trial? Even, like, again, it's not a matter of whether or not you like sex offenders or anything like that. The thing is that which side do you think is gonna win, and which side do you think has a more of a valid argument? Because again, I do not like the government trespassing on my property without a proper consent or a warrant. Clearly, these individuals are trespassing on property and modifying it, and apparently, from what I know in this article, the individuals are not mandated to inform the public of their sex offender status, right? Some are okay with it. They're okay with saying, yeah, I'm a registered sex offender, but they're not mandated to do so. And to some degree, yeah, putting a sign on your property saying, that you are a sex offender, it to some degree it's maybe an invasion of privacy, because again, you are going into private property and you're modifying it. But I don't know. Like I said, very gray area. I don't know which sides could win, because again, I do side a little bit with the parents to some degree when it comes to how they feel. Like I said, parents, they love the heck out of their kids. At least the ones who are actually good parents. But you have to get the point, right? I could get the points made from the parents and the sheriffs and the sheriff's department, and I could also get a side of the people who are claiming or basically filing the lawsuit. Because again, it's your property. The government shouldn't be able to intrude on your property without a warrant. That's the thing. That's the Third Amendment, right? The Third Amendment. No, I think it's Third Amendment, like no unreasonable search or seizures. Usually, I think I could be wrong. Maybe, I think. But the point is, the Constitution protects you from unreasonable search or seizures. This basically means that they have to have a warrant to enter your property. In this case, your private property. This case, clearly they didn't have a warrant, I'm assuming. Therefore, they're technically doing something wrong. Technically, maybe, I don't know. Again, depending on the law, there's different. Again, I don't know Georgia law. But I can understand both points. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think this is a good thing to do? Do you think the sheriff is doing the right thing and protecting the people he is sworn to protect, the people he's supposed to protect? Okay. Do you think that this is an actual like a reasonable lawsuit and the outrage is reasonable? Do you think so? If not, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Hit the notification button as well, that way you're never miss an upload. And if you're a returning subscriber or you just barely subscribe, bookmark this page, because apparently some of my subscribers have notified me that some of their notifications are going directly to spam. Therefore, they're not getting notified every time I upload a new video. And again, that's why I ask you to bookmark the page if you wish. If you do not wish to subscribe or bookmark the page, again, I'm not forcing you to. You're not mandated. You're not forced to. It's a free country. You can do whatever the hell you want. But at the same time, too, if you wish, again, I'm not forcing you, but if you wish to share the video, if you don't want to do the other two things, share the video if you think this video is worthy of sharing. If you share it with your friends who might be interested in the subject, who might be interested in, in this situation, maybe they might want to maybe they might want to bring in some other ideas or their own opinions as well. Which again, I welcome discussion. Keep it respectful, though. Again, we want to respect everybody's opinions, even though we don't agree with all of them. Again. That's the thing about the First Amendment. You have a right to express your opinions, and no one has a right to censor your speech. But again, if you feel this video is worth sharing, share it on social media with your friends, anyone you think that might be interested in this video. And I'll see you guys at a later time. Unfortunately, this is the last segment, and unfortunately, I have to go to sleep now because I'm very tired. I woke up early in the morning, and I've gone to school, and I got off work at 6, so I'm very tired. I've been up for like the last 12 hours, so I'm very tired. But again, hopefully I'll see you guys at a later time. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to upload more videos. If I can't, Friday at best. Because again, I've had some personal issues that have been going on recently. I don't want to disclose them, but it might get in the way of uploading more content. But I'll try to upload as much as I can, right? I'll see you guys at a later time. You guys have a good rest of the night, and stay awesome.